Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. Let's look at the pre-release livestream for the upcoming mobile game, Nier Reincarnation. If you don't know me, I am Cabbage, that is my handle in all of my games. I am an American, half Japanese, living in Japan. I like video games. I started this channel on Monster Strike maybe like 5 years ago or something. But with War of the Visions, I thought I would start something where I play a JP release of a game ahead of time, ahead of the global schedule, and then, make videos for the global audience so they could have like an idea of like what's coming, maybe see if a game would be good for them. And I think I will try that for Nier Reincarnation as well. It's my personal policy to play no more than 2 mobile games at once, but let's be honest, I play Monster Strike rarely these days, and I make videos for it even less. And then also I've gone against my own policy before, when I played Monster Strike, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, and Kotobuki Takeoff Girls. So I feel okay about starting Nier. And then Kotobuki and then Nier Reincarnation kind of have a connection in that Kotobuki ended service late last year, and so did Grimoire A, where that development team was kind of like headhunted to work on Nier Reincarnation. But anyway, this video is about Nier Reincarnation. It's coming out in Japan in a couple weeks, but no date yet for global. The global version of the game does have a Twitter account, but it's been dead since September last year. And then the game was announced some time ago, but I've been waffling all this time if I would play it or not. Personally, my biggest issue is that this game seems to stress story very much, and my Japanese is not good enough to understand it all. But I think I'll still try the game out. I can at least, teach people about like the systems and all that. But if I do continue to play the game long term, it'll be as a free-to-play user. War of the Visions JP will remain my main game. But maybe a bigger reason I want to play this Nier game is because I love Mr. Saito. He's on the left in this picture. He's one of the producers and basically creators of Nier Automata. He's very different from many game creators. He's very funny, he pokes fun at himself and his staff and his Nier games. He's joking all the time, doesn't seem to take anything seriously, and he's very frank about behind-the-scenes stuff, which I appreciate. I love watching him in live streams, and even if I don't play this Nier game long-term, I might keep watching the live streams just for him. And when Nier comes closer to the War of the Visions global release, maybe I'll translate his appearance at that live stream, because he had some funny moments there too. Alright, in the live stream there was not a ton of info in the game. It was more just like showing the new trailer and introducing some of the staff. But some game-related tidbits. Battle is going to be command-based with a 3-person team, and it will have an auto battle option. Battle looks a little bit similar to like Destiny's Child, which I played and wasn't super impressed with, but I've heard that it plays very well, so we'll have to see how that works out in Nier. And then like the people from Nier Automata, they're console people, they don't have a lot of experience with mobile games, and they were wondering how the reception would be to a Nier game that has like a command-based system. But apparently it's been pretty good so far in Japan, so they're feeling good about that. And then weapons will play a central role in the game. Some will be available from the Hatcher, some will be available from quests. And then this idea came from Drakengard, which was one of the first games that Mr. Yoko, the director of those games, made. And then in Nier Reincarnation, there'll be kind of like 2 main areas, or like main game modes. One is the cage, which is running around a 3D structure. And then there will be weapon story quests, which are like side-scrolling picture books, where you go through and you, I guess, level up or awaken the weapons. Apparently there's going to be a lot of voice acting with the story. That should help with my comprehension. And then about the Hatcher, 10 shots from the Hatcher will cost 3,000 gems. And then if you do the 10 shot, it will guarantee a rare, which I'm guessing is not the highest rarity, but we'll see again once the game is released. And then from day one, there will be a collaboration with Nier Automata, and then 2B, 9S, and A2 will be playable units. This makes me a little worried because maybe there will be a weapon hatcher and a unit hatcher. I don't like it when they have separate hatchers. I don't want to choose. But hopefully maybe they'll just put it into one big hatcher where you can get weapons or units. And then that cage, that 3D structure that you run around, there's a whole other company that is just making that cage. It's called Iruka, that company. And then I guess people are looking at the trailers for this game and they're asking if this is like mobile game graphics. And yes it is, including that cage area. And then they're designing all units to be usable because they want you to be able to choose the characters that you like the look of and not have to worry about just choosing meta units, whoever they are. And from the footage of the game that we've seen so far, there are lots of like middle-aged men or old men. So that's kind of refreshing from a lot of other mobile games out there. And then also for Nier, there's a lot of female players, so maybe it's to appeal to them as well. Alright, that was about all they said about the game, but they also released some kind of like game industry tidbits, which I always find fascinating. The director, he is the guy on the right there. His name is Mr. Matsukawa. He was asked which game kind of had the most influence on him, and Saga Frontier was his answer, that game from the PlayStation. And then they shot down the rumor that employees of the game are given like in-game currency, but that's not the case because it's against the law. But also like producer Saito, he feels that employees feel more motivation to play when they're using their own money, so he wants them to do that. He was funny. He said he's going to pull a lot on the release day and then try to get all the 3 characters, 2B, 9S, and A2, and that if he doesn't get him, he's going to quit the game. And they said they have a lot of server capacity ready for launch because they're anticipating a lot of people to do the reset marathon. There was a bad experience with Sino Alice. And they also mentioned how expensive it was to get that server capacity, which is what I always understood, but there's, know-nothings on the internet always insisting that these games are cheap to make and upkeep. But no, these games take a lot. And yeah, just hiring another entire company just to make one part of your game, that's expensive. And then they also talked a little bit about collaborations, going back to Saga Frontier. They were jokingly saying maybe doing a collaboration with Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, but they were thinking that the price to do that would be too high. And they also say that many people that work on mobile games in the Japanese companies, they come from the world of like IT or consulting. But then when they began making games, they're surprised by like how hard and how fast the schedule is. And then when the topic of working for video game companies came up, the chat was like, oh, working for a video game company seems awful. Probably in response to the beatings that the game developers take from the online community. But producer Saito insists that it's not. He says the work is tough, but it's also fun. So he doesn't exactly address the pressure thing, but producer Saito doesn't strike me as the type of person that gives a flying fig, so... And then producer Saito, he also said that bugs are just a fact of life. There are no perfect programmers, there's no perfect programs, so when they do come up, they just have to try to deal with it as best they can. And then director Matsukawa, he said that maybe the biggest wake-up call that he had when he entered the game industry was that it was kind of more important to make a game to address the wants of the user than his personal desire for like the kind of game that he wanted to make. I still personally believe that the user base doesn't know what it wants and doesn't know what is good for it. But director Matsukawa is more magnanimous than I am. Okay, but I think that's everything that I gleaned that was interesting from the live stream. So in a couple weeks there will be the release of the game. I'll put up videos of me playing the early parts of the game. And then mid-February there will be another live stream, so I might do a summary of that as well. Okay, leave a comment. Let me know if you're at all interested in this game. Alright, thanks for watching and we'll see you again. Take care.